All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here as we continue to break down more things about the NFL playoffs and looking ahead to the Super Bowl. Now, I still have not yet recorded my reaction to the AFC Championship game and kind of breaking it down, but I was planning on doing that 2 nights ago. I've been a little busy this week, quite a busy week at work and stuff in the evenings and whatnot. So today is it's early Friday morning. I got to start working here in about 20 minutes here. But once I get done with the day working today, probably around 4 o'clock, I do plan on starting to record my reaction to the weekend, and then hopefully get that up by Saturday morning or maybe Friday night. We'll see about that. So, but I wanted to get something done and created here before I started my workday. There's a play that happened here in the AFC Championship game called the do-over play. And so I wanted to go through this scenario here because there's a lot of people that are misunderstanding what has happened here. A lot of people are claiming that the Chiefs got an unfair advantage here. They're saying that the Chiefs benefited from this. So let's go through exactly what happened. We'll go through where the mistakes were made by the officiating crew, and then we'll go and we'll talk about the actual result of what happened at the end. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and start the video, and I'm going to pause it at key moments. So for context, as you can see here on the screen, the game was tied at 20. It's in the fourth quarter with 10:36 left in the game, and it's 2nd and 9 for the Chiefs at their own like about around 34 yard line, 34 and a half yard line.
Over and over again. Mahomes falling, gets it to McKinnon.
Okay, so first thing that's happened here is the pass to McKinnon is an incomplete pass. Now, I can get a little ticky-tack here, and I can say that perhaps this was the clock was incorrect as well here, because if you look at it,
to McKinnon, incomplete. Falling, gets it
right there,
McKinnon,
the clock should have stopped at 10:31, but it stopped at 10:29.
Had pressure on Mahomes.
All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to keep rolling it here.
10.5 remaining. Fantastic job by Mahomes to get this ball out and not take the sack. It's not the worst thing, actually, to drop that. In some ways, he might have lost a yard or two. In these wins that Cincinnati has had, the Kansas City offense has failed to perform in the fourth quarter. You're exactly right.
Okay. The first thing that's happened here is you can see the I think that's the line judge, or maybe that's the head referee. I don't know. Number 79 there in the official coming in, waving his arms. So this guy, what he's noticed is that the ball was spotted incorrectly after that incomplete pass. So it's his job to understand, to make sure that the ball is on the right marker, or is on the right spot on the field, and that no team, whether it's the offense or the defense, has an unfair advantage to where the ball is spotted. So he rightfully comes in and stops the pre-snap action. Okay.
And it's even more challenging when I just told you, and you talk about Moore and Kemp out there. Now, can they do it? Sure, but they just haven't been asked to make the big plays late in games, really, at any point in their career here with Kansas City.
Okay, so they respotted the ball, which is this doesn't happen possibly in every game, but this is not an uncommon occurrence. Okay, so there's no controversy over this. They've spotted the ball. The first mistake that they've made, that they will make, is coming up right after this.
What happened here, Gene?
Just adjusting the football by a half yard, Jim.
Please
they had
reset
it
the
marked
play clock to
incorrectly.
10 seconds, please. 10 seconds. The play clock and game clock will start on my signal.
Okay, that's where the mistake was made. Okay, the first mistake was made is what the head referee here, I forget the guy's name, number 62, the ref. He says, so they respotted the ball. The clock was already stopped because of the incompletion on 2nd and 9. Okay, so he says they respotted the ball, stopped the pre-snap action, which is the right thing to do. They got to respot the ball. There's no controversy with that. He says that on his signal, the game clock and the play clock will start on his signal. So the clock operator is just listening to what the referee says. Okay? Now, what should happen here is that what the referee should have said is that he should have said only the play clock will start on my signal, because the previous play was incomplete. It doesn't matter. The game clock will never start the next play until the next play starts, when the previous play was an incomplete pass, because the game clock is stopped. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep rolling.
It's far easier to double team Kelsey.
As you can see here, now the game clock is ticking down when it should not be.
When you don't have other guys, so you're going to see someone help on him right there as well. 3rd and 9. Bodies around him.
So what happened here, obviously, so the game clock ticks off about 5 seconds when it shouldn't have. The Chiefs go ahead and run a play. Now, what's not shown, I don't think, in this video is they showed replays a little bit later. The back judge, who's like I got to point the right direction. The back judge, who is way over there, he is coming in and waving his arms. Now, he said he was blowing his whistle. I mean, it's hard to hear because it's so loud in the stadium. Regardless, he was trying to stop the play because he noticed that the clock had started. He noticed the error about the time the play was about to start and right when it was trying to start. Nobody in the stands, nobody in the sideline, nobody knew. Both coaches were just, they didn't see it happen either. And so, but the one back judge, he did notice the discrepancy that, hey, the clock was not supposed to start. We need to blow this play dead and get the clock right. And some people say, well, what do you care about the clock being? I mean, it's just 5 seconds. Who cares? You should ask someone that who wins the game with 5 seconds left in the game. Anyway. All right, let's go ahead and keep going.
Blocked by Kelsey, but Bell is not going to let him get anywhere close to a first down. Kansas City, before that, had converted its last 5 third downs, but now they're coming off the field. And that's the second half adjustment. Wizard on defense, and there's the Wizard on offense. But right there, you saw Kelsey chip and then get out, and there's the footwork. The adrenaline is there. He's going to be all right. He's going to have to stand in and create some plays at some point at the end of this. These guys are not.
Okay, so you can see here the refs are over here, and they're over here talking. They're already talking about the mistake that they made. Okay, and they're getting ready to address it.
Going to be that open. I've been watching these receivers, Jim. There's not a lot of help right now happening, and they are targeting Kelsey with, double, triple team in some ways, chucking him at the line with it.
The ball was set, the play was shut down, the clock and should not have started. Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 24 seconds. Put 10 seconds on the play clock. We will start the play clock on my signal. Game clock will start on the snap. 10:29 on the game clock. It will start on the snap. Thank you.
Okay, so he misspoke there, but he got it right the second time. 10:29. What he didn't explain here. So this is where I'll criticize this referee for this. Well, they made a mistake initially. When he initially made a mistake, it was his fault by saying the game clock would start on his signal in the previous play. Where he's made a mistake here, he's correct in shutting the previous play down. Okay, that happens. That's part of the NFL rules. Does it happen very often? No, it doesn't. But it is. It's not a cheat. It's not a conspiracy. Okay. Where he didn't explain this very well is he should have gone into more detail explaining what had happened. So, because the fans were booing, the fans should have realized the Chiefs were going to get, like, it's not a do-over. But I don't think the fans understood what was happening. The coaches definitely didn't understand what was happening. Let's go ahead and keep rolling.
Evan was right. That was about as high charged, seeing that. They're going for this, Jim. Oh, look at this. They're going to go for this. They're putting the offense back out there. There's 10 seconds on the clock. So they said they're going to put the play clock back to 10.
So,
it's third down. Why did we have fourth down?
Sort this out. Listening to Ron Torbert, he said that the play was shut down. We may not have heard it here with the noise factor, but the play was shut down prior to that snap. The play runs completely out, and what Ron just said is we're going to reset this. We're basically having a do-over here, guys. We're going to have a third down play do-over.
Zach Taylor can't believe it because there certainly didn't seem any indication, just eyeballing it here, that there was anything other than a play in action. Second time today. The crowd noise is way up. Now, we couldn't hear because the microphone went out on Tolbert, but I would be livid right here because it's like, how does no one come flying in, right? You're just going to tell us after a full play goes?
Okay, so I'm gonna criticize Tony Romo here. Tony Romo is an absolute clown. This guy used to be one of the best NFL analysts on television. He is an absolute clown job now. He is doing nothing to help this situation. So he's saying Zach Taylor has every right to be really upset. Look, the coaches are going to be upset regardless of what. If something doesn't go their way, or they're perceived to be their way, they're going to be upset regardless. Okay. The fact of the matter is, if Patrick Mahomes had completed that pass to Travis Kelce and it had been for a first down, the play still would have been shut down and they would have had to do it over. Okay, and then you would have had scores of Chiefs fans, which I'm a Chiefs fan. I wouldn't have been in this group, but you would have had plenty of my fellow Chiefs fans and all that crowd and the Chiefs coaching staff. They would have been livid. They'd have been like, "Why did you shut the play down?" Look, the play was shut down because the clock was incorrect. The clock ran after the respawn of the ball, which it was not supposed to. You have to make sure the clock is right. And the rule book has allowances to shut the play down, to get the clock right, and to redo the down. This is not a controversy. Now, it's heightened here because the game is tied. There's 10 and a half minutes left in the AFC Championship game. If this was a Week 2 game against Atlanta and Seattle, no one would give a flip. But I understand that the situation dictates that people get so pissed off and they demand investigations. The referees made a mistake. They made a mistake by starting the clock after the second down play when it shouldn't have started. That was mistake number one. But then they got it right by shutting down the third down play. The problem that happened was that the referee, now Tony Romo says, well, no one was coming in to wave it off. Actually, there was somebody coming in to wave it off. The back judge was trying to shut the play down the whole time. No one saw him. No one heard him. But we did see the replay of it after the fact that showed that, yes, he in fact was trying to shut the play down.
I mean, this is huge. Zach Taylor is beyond himself, and in some ways, I mean, the truth is, if you can't hear it, you can't hear it, but they still blew the whistle. How about waving an arm and letting everybody know that the play is dead? Let's give Mahomes another opportunity. That seems like you're not looking forward to that.
Okay, Tony Romo, shut the hell up. You're not giving Mahomes a second opportunity because that first opportunity did not exist.
Let's see what happens with it.
And Mahomes is sacked.
Mahomes is down at the 24. B.J. Hill.
But there is a flag on the play.
In the secondary near midfield. You can't give him another chance. It's going to be a hold on Eli Apple. 20. He was holding downfield on Scantling.
Holding. Defense number 20. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Oh, my goodness. This is so incredibly crazy right there what just happened.
It's not incredibly crazy. Defensive holding happens all the time, Tony Romo. Shut the hell up.
Got an extra play. You end up getting the sacks. You stop him twice, but Eli Apple
No, it didn't stop him twice. You stopped him once because the play did not happen.
Has the tough assignment because that's the only guy you really can go to on the outside. But he holds him right there, Jim. That's a good
That's
call.
A classic hold.
You can imagine how this is being received up in Cincinnati. They've got to be out of their mind with I didn't hear the whistle, did you? They're usually in the game. Oh, there he is coming in, but nobody can hear the whistle, and so he wants to get out of the way and not get hit, but he did come flying in. You know, Gene, I think there's still a need for deeper explanation of what happened before.
There is, Jim, and you've got to look at this and go back really to the second down play. The second down play was an incomplete pass. We reset the clock, then the referee started to wind the clock, so the clock started running. That's why we saw the official coming in to say the clock was running and it shouldn't have been. That's what happened on the play and why we had to
Okay, so Gene Steratore did come in. He did clarify there at the end. So let's go back and review the sequence of events here. The second down play was an incomplete pass at 10:29. The next play, the officials came in and had to respot the ball, and the head referee told the game clock operator to wind the clock, both clocks, the play clock and the game clock, on his signal, which was a mistake. And so that's what they did. So as soon as that happened, the game clock now is incorrect and it is out of sync. And then basically it means that time is ticking off that is not allowable. That's a disadvantage to both teams. You can say, well, it's a disadvantage to the Chiefs or it's a disadvantage to the Bengals. It doesn't matter. It's a disadvantage to both teams because at 10 and a half minutes left in the game, you have no clue what's going to happen the rest of that time. And those 5 seconds are 5 seconds that belong in the play clock that do not belong in the play clock. They belong in the play clock because they don't deserve to be ticked off when the clock is not supposed to be running, okay? Both teams deserve to have that time on the clock. So when you hear people say that the Bengals, that they shut the Chiefs down twice, that's not correct. The pass to Travis Kelce never occurred. That play did not happen. The fact that it worked in the Bengals' favor, where them stopping that play, it's completely irrelevant. If the pass had been for a first down, if Patrick Mahomes had thrown a touchdown pass on that play, it still would have been shut down. So when you listen to people talk and argue that, oh, well, if the Chiefs had done something favorable there, if they got a touchdown, they wouldn't have blown the play dead. They absolutely would have. And the crowd would have gone absolutely bonkers, okay? The Tony Romo and Jim Nantz do no favors to the people watching this game by saying, oh, they're livid in Cincinnati. If you're livid about this play, be upset at the referees because they're not good enough to get simple things like the clock right. But there's no conspiracy here to elevate the Chiefs, okay? If you're watching this video and you're the only thing you take away from this is that the referees cheated and they're paid off by the Chiefs and that they gave the Chiefs a do-over, that's not true, okay? That's your perception because you're biased in the way that you look at this play. If the exact opposite had happened and the Chiefs had a successful play on the one that was shut down, it wouldn't have mattered. It still would have come back. It still would have been 3rd and 9. And then Chiefs fans, and wrongfully so, who would be upset about it, I would say the same stupid thing to them. That, guys, stop being upset about it because the play never happened. Yeah, does it suck? Does it suck that the referees didn't get the clock right the first time? Yes, it sucks. But they corrected it. They got it right. And then the real play that happens, Mahomes is sacked, but Eli Apple is holding. And so Zach Taylor, okay, I'll give him a little bit of a break here, and I'll say, in his mind, he's saying, well, we stopped him on a play where we didn't have a penalty. Now the next play where we do stop him again, now we have a penalty and it's automatic first down. But Zach, the play that you stopped them, the clock was not correct. The clock has to be correct in order for the game to continue. And that's a mistake by the refs. He could be upset with the refs in that regards. I understand that. Eli Apple was definitely holding on the sack of Mahomes. So if you're wondering how the rest of this played out, the Chiefs ran 3 more plays and picked up like 2 or 3 yards and then punted the ball back to Cincinnati. So, and then on the next drive on Cincinnati, they threw an interception. So this, at the end of the day, this had no material outcome on the game. Some people will say, well, it ran another minute off the clock, when the Chiefs, after the holding call. So the holding call was a legit call on a legitimate play. The play that was shut down was not a legitimate play. You cannot accept that. And if you are unwilling to accept that the play that was shut down was illegitimate, then you should have no problem with with a potential outcome where the Chiefs would have scored a touchdown on that play and it wouldn't have been called back. Because that's what you're saying. So check your fandom at the door. Check your bias at the door. Understand that the refs did make a mistake here, but they got it correct. They corrected it on the field. Now, should they have made the mistake in the first place? No, they probably should not have. But they corrected it, and no advantage was given to either team. But what flamed the situation, what inflamed it, and what made it worse was stupid Tony Romo just, fanning the flames of all the Cincinnati fans watching and saying how they should be so upset and incensed. No, Tony Romo, they should not be. We all NFL fans should be incensed that the referees are as bad as they are, and they cannot get simple things like the starting of the game clock correct. But you know what? The referees are human. They're going to make mistakes like this. The good thing is that they fixed it, and no team got an advantage because of it. Okay? If you cannot understand that, if you cannot accept the fact that the play was wrong or that the play was shut down correctly and that no team got an advantage, if you're sitting there and thinking that the Chiefs still got an advantage on this play, then you are completely anti-Kansas City and you are unwilling to accept the facts of the situation. And I just don't know what else to say except I'm sorry. Because if that would have been a touchdown for the Chiefs, the call would have still been correct to call it back and to disallow the play. And if that would have happened, you would have been cheering for it. You'd have been, oh, yes, that's the right call. The referees got it right. And I would have been sitting here and agreeing with you because it would have been the right call to call it back if a touchdown had happened on that play because the game clock was incorrect. Don't evaluate games as it from a rule standpoint only based on the team that you cheer for. Look at it from as an objective and unbiased viewpoint as you can. That's all I'm going to say about that. The Chiefs didn't get an advantage here. The Bengals weren't screwed here. They got it right at the end eventually. It took a couple missteps to get there. Now, one more thing here before I gotta go, and I gotta sign into my work here stuff and start working here because it's almost 8:00. The last thing I'm gonna say about all of this, the NFL has an officiating problem. Okay, look, I can sit here as a Chiefs fan, even though my team is what I consider the best team in the NFL, and especially the most consistent best team over the NFL over the past 5 years. The NFL has an officiating problem. The biggest problem is that the refs are not full-time. And for some reason, the NFL, the referees union somehow has a big stick to wield over the NFL and the Players Association and then the league itself. I don't understand it. I don't understand how this league, who has part-time employees only, is so powerful. I don't understand. The NFL needs to employ full-time officials, and they need to be better trained at their job. We need to have common sense come in and take in. We need to have, like, what am I trying to say here? We need to have common sense come in and reign when sometimes that's not the case in some of these games. I went through the situation last year where the Bengals got a touchdown on a play that was whistled dead, and the officials came in and allowed it to stand, which that is reprehensible. And Bengals fans who are complaining about this call right here, but yet last year we're saying things like, oh, well, this in the spirit of the game, the play shouldn't have been shut down, so it's fine that the play was allowed to stand. No, it wasn't. It wasn't allowed. And you're a hypocrite if you have that stance. Okay? If you're banging the drum and ringing the bell and wanting the officiating to get better, you have to be consistent in your message. Okay? So that's all I'm going to say on that. So again, a confusing situation. Hopefully, showing this video and talking about breaking it down. Hopefully that allows you to have a little bit of understanding of what happened on that play, and that though the Chiefs did not get a 5th down, the 3rd and 9 pass to Kelsey never occurred because the clock was incorrect and the referees got it right. And then the next play happened. It was holding. Chiefs got a 1st down, and then 3 plays later they punted anyway because they couldn't pick up a 1st down because they had no receivers in the game. They're all hurt. Marcus Kemp out there, who has 4 career receptions, 29 career tackles. What does that tell you? Chiefs were very fortunate to win this game. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back again with more videos. Or one more video wrapping up the AFC Championship game, and then we'll have some preview videos for the Super Bowl here in the next, probably next week. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later.